Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone's doing great. Today we're going to be making a flip book, I guess, or like a kind of mini album flip book, but we're going to use these envelopes from the Celebrate by David Tutera. And what I've done, I already assembled it. I think it's 5 envelopes in here. I think it is. And what I did is I took them, so I took 2 of the envelopes and glued the lip down. And then I put one inside and glued that. So it's kind of like a crazy flip. You have to figure it out as you go because you never know where you're going to get or what you're going to get. We're also going to be using the Sweet Life paper by Colorbach. In case you're like crafting on a budget, it's really inexpensive. They sell it at the Walmart. Or if you really wanted to get fancy, you could probably use magazine paper or a different type of paper. Even though these already have creases, I just feel like I need to crease this down some. So I pulled out some pages. I had used the Sweet Life paper collection before in another project. I can't remember. And it's too long. These sheets are too long. So I can't use the scraps with that. I normally just put my larger scraps back into the paper collection that I'm using until it's time to put it, transfer it over. I think I'm going to try and make some scrap videos. Like I have lots of buckets of scraps, and I think I'm going to try to do that. So since this is 4 by 375 and this is by 5 and 75, I am going to make it 4 1/4. Because I think that'll work. Let's see. It won't work like that though, because this paper it's 12 by 12, but you can see right here that it has this line that's just there. It's not really cut, so it's a little bit larger than 12 by 12. It's probably 12 by 13 on one side. 12 inches on one and 13 on the other. So I think that's what I want to do, is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Only because that's the normal size that I'm used to working in. I think that'll work well. But when I laid the paper against it, I felt like it may be too thin. And I don't want a lot of the white showing, but I don't want to do the measurements at what it is on the paper, the actual envelope. I do want to have a little bit of border because I'm going to ink up the edges. So I'll cut them down to size and come back and start assembly. Alright, so if you are a crafter and you create a lot of paper stuff, do you ever measure everything and still all your stuff comes out different measurements? That's what just happened to me. But that's okay, we're going to make it work. I'm using this yellow. It is mustard seed. And I am just distressing the edges. And I'm going to try to distress all of them fairly equally. I want to give a lot of attention to the edges. And I chose this yellow. I was going to go with orange, but I made a project yesterday using the spice marmalade. I do like that color a lot. I'm not sure what's going on. I guess because I don't know when you see this video, so I can't even say, but summertime, it's approaching. Spring, summertime, spring more than summer. But in Texas, it's always spring and summer. It seems like it's usually hot. We've been having fluky weather lately. But I consider it still to be winter. So winter, I guess, is unpredictable more so than spring and summer. Because in spring and summer, it's rainy and hot a lot. Well, that's what we have come to realize lately, right? All right, so I need this. And I'm going to try to get the folds as well, the insides. It's one fold that's a little bit thicker than the other, and that's because this is only my second time doing it this way. So, with more practice, I'll get better at it. More times I do it. And since I have so many different types of envelopes, I'm like, I can just do it. I never knew when I purchased the envelopes in the past that this is what I would be doing with them. I just knew that. Like I was talking to the big roommate, And he was like, so you didn't, what, you know, when I would buy the stuff, like even with my mom, we go places. She's like, what do you need that for? I'm like, I'm going to make something with it. And she was like, you have great ideas in the store. Oh, she was comical. Brutal, but comical. I remember one time we were at the laundromat when we lived in Connecticut, and you know, for the most part, we had a great relationship as I got older and realized how hard adulting can be at times. There's no manual on life, so you know, if you have a crappy life, you just try to do better with it. But this lady was like, you guys could have your own TV show. You're so funny. And I was like, oh no, not with this lady. But it was so, you know, like it was a great compliment, I guess, to be complimented. I was just like, Like we would be in the store. Anywhere we go, we'd be talking to someone, always come in and try to join a conversation. I'm like, ma'am, sir, you know, usually it was ladies. Because I think we tend to insert ourselves more into situation than guys. Most men are like, just leave it alone. Don't worry about it. Whereas we're like, no, I need to tell her, you know, I was eavesdropping and heard her say she's looking for socks. They're on aisle 22. I don't know. Was it yesterday? No, earlier this week, Wednesday, I was, we had went thrifting, because I had a doctor's appointment. So we were out all day. And, I was minding my business looking for toys that the little roommate does not need, but, you know, that's what we always say. I'm not going to buy them any more stuff. Okay, so we got all this inked up. At least that's what I say. And she was like, do you know the color of the day? And I'm like, you know, do. And I'm like, did she just ask me a question? And I was like, oh, it's this color, you know, after I realized she was talking to me and I didn't want her to think I was being rude because I didn't respond. All right, so I think we have 5 folders. I usually tend to go with an odd number of folders just because at a certain point, once you start decorating and covering up stuff, it gets a little bit tedious and I get bored with it. So I think I'm going to make these to the front and back just because that would make me happy, I think. All right, so the thing is I want to keep all of these pieces on the inside, like all the folds and flaps. So in the back, you see it has this flap and it has this flap, and I didn't even distress this flap at all. Great day. So with the 2 flaps, you know, when I put this together, I did it with no rhyme or reason, like I stated already. But I want to make sure that the pocket portion stays on the inside. So that's why it's flapping up like that. And then if I have done this correctly, you know, whoever receives this will be able to figure it out, but they can fold it however they want once they get it, you know. I'm not going to put big numbers on there for them to maneuver and work through it. So I'm going to use some wet glue on some of the pages, and I'm going to use dry, well, adhesive on other of the pages. So with the wet glue, I don't know why I just did that, because I should have put it on the back of the cover. So make sure you put it on the back of your cover. And that's what I was going to say. On these solid pages, you can put the glue on your sheets of paper. When it comes to these fold portions with the tucks, you need to put the glue on the actual envelope. So I did that backwards. Can I lift this paper up really quickly? I can. Yay. Okay. I'm not sure if the paper's crooked or if I put the paper down crooked, but it was definitely crooked. My glue, I've been doing a silly thing, which is just leaving it sitting there. I know it dries fairly quickly, but I was just leaving it sitting like it doesn't dry quick without putting the lid on. So I need to make sure I do that, because I feel like that glue is not the cheapest. I mean, it's not super expensive in comparison to some of the other glues that we may have in our supplies, but I don't want to waste the glue by not paying attention. And I chose these simple dots because I do plan on putting something else on here. Did I get it that time? Yep, that's fine. So I didn't want to, I just wanted something plain and simple that has some color on it, a little bit of color, not too much. Be careful with your glue seepage. In this case, I'm okay with it seeping out, only because I've already distressed, and I know that I've distressed all of the yellow around the edges, and I know it's going to probably run a little bit, but I'm okay with that. But you know, you can always have something to clean up that excess glue in case you're worried. Now here comes the hard part again, is the back. So this is the front, right? This is supposed to fold in, and this is the back, which folds out like that, okay? I do think it's easier when you're making these with multiple flip pockets to actually designate a front and back versus not. So that's why I was trying to make sure that I decorate the front and the back specifically to look like the front and the back. Because the person may not watch videos, you know, my videos especially, they may not watch what I create. And so they may not understand the functionality of it. So I don't think it would be a good idea to just not decorate it accordingly to like a front and a back. I usually always put like something life, not, I wouldn't say life, but like beginning, and then on the back, like, you know, I always put like a greeting that says like hello sunshine or hi or something like that, or maybe the person's name. But as I'm creating this, I don't really know who I'm going to give it to. So I am not making this with any, you know, any intent. I do want to make it because I was thinking about food, not eating it, but just making a food project. So I'm a part of the collaboration, the Pinterest inspiration collaboration. And I've been on Pinterest trying to find my project for this month. It's February now. You'll probably see this in March or April or May or whoever knows when. Hopefully not the end of the year though. And I haven't found a pin that I have a lot of things pinned, but nothing I really want to work on. So that's going to be interesting for me. I did cut the solid sheet out, and I think that's going to be like the middle of the line portion for me. Now we're going to go from there to this. I think that's going to be good. Let's see, is this going to be good? Yep. It's dry, but I was hoping, like if this was a makeup applicator or a regular sponge, I feel like it wouldn't dry out as quickly. I don't know if you all feel like that. I've seen a lot of people use the distress inks, but they use different applicators. So maybe they feel the same way I do. I don't know. And I'm distressing that just because I want all of the pages to be colored in, distressed a little. But I have an idea what I want to do with this one. So we'll see. This may be a two-part video. And I don't want to put too much glue right here because if I have too much glue and it seeps over, the pocket will not close. I am going to put some right on that little ledge of the fold portion though. Okay. And hopefully Brandy's cutting is sufficient enough for, yep, there we go. All right. You know, I saw, I'm also in the House Mouse collaboration for 2019, and I saw, I can't remember her name. I'll have to link her video in the description box below or in the comment section. She did a video. It was most of the ladies did Valentine's themed not all, but most of them did Valentine's themed cards. And she got a 3D embossing folder from Hobby Lobby. So, you know, I ran off to see if they had it just so I could see it and touch it to see if I actually wanted it or not. And I'm just cleaning this edge up right here in case you're wondering. And they did not have it. I was like, come on. Like, it's so interesting how all of the Hobby Lobbies, well, this is in general too, you know, like all the stores don't ever have all of what the other stores have, which is crazy. All right, so now we're gonna flip this out. See how the back is just right here chilling. All right, so inside, I want this orange piece right here, this orange card. It's just a plain old orange card that I cut out a little bit on the crooked side. But I felt like it needed a solid sheet of paper in here versus not a solid sheet of paper. I normally don't put solid random sheets of paper in projects not from the actual paper collection. This is just a sheet of paper that I have that's in the scrapbook, you know, like scrapbook paper that the other store sell. Is the Paper Studio one. And I used to always get them. Like, I was like excited to get scraps for some reason. But then I realized that I have all the paper and I could make all the scraps I want. So I'm going to go ahead and finish covering all of this up. We're already at 16 minutes. And I'll come back. Okay, so this is how it's looking so far. I think we're going to, when I do this quick little flip through, we're going to stop it and start another video, only because we're at 17 minutes and I feel like it's going to take us a little while to do the embellishments on here. I didn't create any gussets or anything like that because I feel like we're not going to need it. So hopefully I'm right. This is the front. Then this is the center, and a pocket is there. And then we open this up like this, which is crazy. Maybe this is the front. I think this is the front. Yeah. This is why it's important to get those edges. You see that little piece flipping up on us right there? Yeah, I think that was the front. This is why I like to make sure I can tell what the front is too, so I can know how I'm working the project. But it looks almost exactly the same. So you're probably like, Brandy, you can't really tell. But okay, so I think this is the front now. And I'll probably be smoothing this down some. I want the glue to dry. It should not bubble and warp too much. The two papers are fairly thin, so hopefully they can just dry smooth and flat. So again, pocket here. And we did a really good job on making sure we save that pocket. And then it's a pocket right here. And then we have this flat piece, which is that card. I want to do a lot of crazy stamping on here. And then you flip this open like this. And you have a pocket right here. And this one is very wet, so you have to be careful with that. And then you also have a pocket right here. So what I think I'm going to do for those sections with a pocket, I may put like a little arrow, or I may not, and she will have to dig in there and find out. So then it looks like this, and then this is the back, and then you have a sneak peek, right? You have a little pocket right there. So it should have 5 pockets because it's 5 envelopes, right? Okay. So this is all that we have so far. I really like it. You know, I'm a little bit biased. It is my work because it kind of looks like it could go anyway, right? So you have these 2 little flaps right here and the 2 little flaps here, and the paper, I'm not sure if you noticed. Oh no, what's going on right here? Anyway, they almost looked exactly the same. So it's just the polka dot, sprinkles, cupcake, and then on the back is polka dot, sprinkles, cupcake. I did that on purpose. So yep, this is supposed to be the front, but I think I like it better like this. So all right, I want to say thank you all for watching. This will probably be 3 parts because the next video we're going to do is going to cut out fussy cut, do some fussy cutting and paper pieces to go in here. All right, until next time, happy crafting.